Nowadays, flat earth is about the Bible and making up stories about the midnight sun at Antarctica. Let's look into this a bit more. Many flat earthers are today making videos where they claim that the Bible is a science book. That's one of the main topics for flat earthers, and the other one is denying the midnight sun on Antarctica, speculating about how it will be faked during the final experiment. I have prepared two videos to look at, or I have to correct myself. I have prepared 3 videos. Bear with me, I'm recording this live, so perhaps it will be some mistakes during the way. The first one is from a small channel. Ceteric Warrior is the name of the channel, and this flurf don't believe in a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and he's very suspicious against Järnism. So, here we have a short part about his thoughts about the final experiment and about Will Duffy. I will play about 2 minutes without commenting. I will come back after this.
My thoughts are that he's basically very likely being backed by either an organization or a person. So I'll say this: I do not think that Will Duffy's being honest in this endeavor. He says as though he plays it off, Flow State, as if he just discovered that there were these people called flat earthers in 2021, and that he then came up on this with this so-called experiment on his own to go to Antarctica. But when you look into his background and who he's associated with, that strains credibility for multiple reasons. So my speculation is that this is kind of like a setup to basically bring down the flat earth community, or make us look bad, like a hit piece in some ways. The other weird thing about this Will Duffy and the Bob Enyard and the likes is that they're a very particular type of mindset that's very strange to me, because they're actually young earth creationists. So they believe in creation. They believe the earth is 6,000 years old, like the Bible says. But at the same time, they believe in the vastness of the universe, and that we went to the moon and that we can go to space, and that there's all these infinite galaxies and exoplanets, which is the strangest of all positions to me, because I could understand being like a flat earther who believes in creation on one side. And then I could understand the mindset of somebody who's, let's say, an atheist or an agnostic who believes in the Big Bang and space, because I can kind of see the way they think. But what I really can't comprehend is the Will Duffys of the world, who want to talk about a young earth creationist ideology, but yet still believe in space and fight so hard for it.
Because you're looking for a unified, internally coherent ideology, and not for a tool to disorient stupid people.
Right, because, and Will Duffy has stated this when he's in his moments of greater candor, basically that he feels as though flat earth makes Christians look stupid.
Oh dear. I have to comment on this. First of all, as you all know, I'm not religious. I respect people's right to have a belief in a God or something else. That's not the problem for me. Regarding Will Duffy and his church, I have looked on his church. I have looked at several videos. I'm not sure if he believes that the earth is 6,000 years and so on. I haven't found anything about it. I haven't looked at all material I could found. But some things he preaches I don't like. He's on about abortion, he's homophobic, and so on. But it's a completely different story. Because his experiments is about the shape of the earth. Is it flat? Is it a globe? That's the topic. And Will Duffy don't read the Bible the same way as this fool. He don't believe that the Bible tells us that we live on a flat earth and it's a closed system with a small and local sun. And the rest of the nonsense, yes, it's pure nonsense about that someone is paying him for this and so on. This is from a longer live, and he's then going on about journeys. That's a shrill. He's paid for this and so on. This is so stupid. Let's move on to a short part from Flazoid. The background to this is that MC Toon have published videos when he is presenting this about the Bible. Is it a science book? Is the Bible telling us that we live on a flat earth? He, as I understand it, was at Will Duffy's Baptist Church in Colorado. So let's listen to a short part for Flazoid's comments on that. Yes, one comment more. The videos you saw on the first segment, it was me that have edited it. It was so boring. It was a typical live stream when you see logotypes or images from the different people who was in it. So it was me editing that part. The video selection was by me, not by the flurf. Okay, let's go back to Flazoid. And a countdown. I love countdowns. I have cut parts of this.
Tonight's going to be exciting because we have McToon on. And we all know how much McToon knows about the Bible.
A girl.
Absolutely everything. He knows absolutely everything down to the last T. Translation is perfect. Oh man, he should be a theologian. The theologian.
Don't put that on McToon. It's not his
Don't
fault.
you dare put that on McToon. Don't you dare.
Well, you see, the thing is, he is claiming the Bible doesn't say the earth's flat.
Most Christians do that, Flazoid.
So this should be good.
Hell of a claim. Yeah.
All I said about him just there. Then.
So we're going to be going through a sermon that he had at Will Duffy's church on this.
What he did the sermon.
Yeah.
He actually preached.
Okay, let's fact check that one and listen to MC Toon's description of this.
He actually preached at Will
This
Duffy's church.
should be fun.
I think I've seen this.
Wow, amazing. Wonders will never cease.
So, is it fact?
Recently, I gave a
Is it
presentation on how the Earth cannot possibly be flat. It was at a church in Wheat Ridge, Colorado called Agape Kingdom Fellowship.
So, of course, it was fake. As usual, he was making a presentation. And they are making it into that he is preaching in this church. Typical flurfs.
McToon should man up and discuss biblical cosmology with us.
Why would he discuss it with you fools? The Bible isn't a science book. You are a small cult, a religious flat earth cult. It have nothing to do with science. It's nothing to debate.
Yes, 50%. No, he can't because he's a coward 50%.
MC Toon isn't a coward. Flazoid is a coward. Last week I looked at when he invited, as they call it, a glober, and he would get a fair chance to present him. It would be uninterrupted, and as soon he started to talk, Flazoid and the rest of the fools in his panel start to interrupt and said he was wrong and so on. He didn't have a chance to present what he was presenting.
Yeah.
Right down the middle.
So far, he's been the coward. He won't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
But why would he? He clearly states that he's a Christian, but he don't believe the Bible to be a science book, and he don't think that it tells us that we live on a flat earth. So what is it to debate?
McTool is as sharp as a spoon and as bright as the Death Star.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Once again, some weeks ago I made a video where I commented on a live from Flazoid where he accused flat earthers to be mean, name calling, and so on. So listen to this, what he calls McToon.
Man, God bless.
What do you think he's going to say, guys?
Wow, I couldn't imagine what he's going to be preaching about. I mean, is he preaching about obviously the Bible not saying that the earth is flat?
He's not preaching, you're stupid, silly persons. It's not. Oh dear, he making a presentation.
I haven't heard it yet. This is fresh for me, just like you guys.
So before he heard it, he claims that McToon is preaching. Seriously, Flazoid? Try to fact check your statements. Oh, sorry. That would ruin your live shows.
I can't tell you.
I really don't know, but whatever he says, I can guarantee it's going to be wrong, misinterpreted, mistranslated, and exegeting, putting yourself in there and not exegeting, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
sure
probably
he's not
said
really
that
going
wrong. Exegesis and exegete, they're just pain in the word, pain in the ass.
All I can say is, if anybody, if you go see a person that looks like a Minecraft character, don't trust them.
And there we have it again, Flazoid. You are complaining about trolls in your comment section, that people making videos that are mean to flat earthers. What are you doing then? This isn't the first time. You're doing this all the time.
I don't see McToon having any solid points on the Bible being a globe book. That's
And he's sure that he have no solid points before they have listened to his presentation. Oh dear.
and he's going to dance around it the whole time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, that was the silliness from those fools. As I said, I'm not religious. I don't stand by any church at all. Of course, I can see that there are quite nice things about being in a church. I can understand why people are there. But this standpoint these fools have about the Bible, most Christians don't have. They don't see the Bible as a science book. I know that many people are critical against the Catholic Church. I think it's a lot of things about that church that I don't like, but I want to play part of a video about the Vatican's view on science, because this is a very big church. And they are using the same Bible as Flazoid and the other fools are looking at. So here we have the Vatican's stance on science and space.
Both science and religion are conversations about the universe. They're ways of learning how we interact with this universe. It's not simply a question of is there a God, but there is a God. Now what do we do? It's not just a question of there are a bunch of stars, but rather, why are there stars? How do they work? How does that tell us how things work here on Earth? The interaction that I see in my own life is that religion gives me the reason to do the science.
Back in the papacy before Francis was Benedict, and one of his lines in a final elocution to the fathers of the general congregation was, "Go to the frontiers." Well, there isn't much more frontier than 3.7 billion years away.
The first official interest of the church for astronomy started in 1582 with the reform of the calendar.
So here we have Jesuit priests or monks. They are educated in the Bible, in religion for many, many years. And all of them are highly educated at universities. They have studied for 15 or 20 years. They are both knowledgeable about the Bible and about science.
In 1891, Pope Leo XIII wanted to have an observatory to show that the church is not against science, but the church promotes good science.
They start out by having telescopes on the Tower of the Winds, and then on the walls surrounding the Vatican, as the city lights grow, and as the Italian government gives them back the territory out in Castel Gandolfo. In the 30s, they build new telescopes on the roof of the Papal Palace.
And that's the Pope's summer palace they are talking about here. I have mentioned it in previous videos.
In Castel Gandolfo, best telescopes of their era in the 1930s. By the 1980s, light pollution makes those telescopes unusable, so we build a new telescope in the dark skies of Arizona.
So they are building telescopes looking into the sky. And don't bother them. This is very religious people we are talking about. They have dedicated their lives to God.
I'm Father Jean-Baptiste Kikwaya Eluo. I'm working in 3 projects. The first one is NEOS, Near Earth Object. So what I'm doing with NEOS is just observe them using our modern telescope VAT. The second project is meteors. So I worked on a very faint meteors, what we call shooting stars. And the third project is set fireball network. They will have 4 cameras here around Tucson so that actually we can monitor any fireball getting into the Earth atmosphere in the region.
This telescope, the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope, it was the first of the new technology telescopes that has been considered pretty much the norm now in developing telescopes. With the advance of computer technology, we have the capability of bringing that advanced technology directly into our telescope. So it's an expandable, it's almost like it's a living machine, so it can grow as technology grows.
It is still very important to maintain scientific research at the Vatican, simply because there is still a lot of confusion about this relationship between science and faith. We are not out here trying to prove the existence of God by looking through a telescope. That's not what we're doing. But we can say that if we want to obtain any reasonable results looking through that telescope, we need to do it embracing a certain work ethics that is, in fact, the same work ethics that the Bible itself tells us through commandments and through the Gospels to embrace.
Human beings look at the stars and wonder. They want to know, what is that? What is that about? How do I fit in? They hear about the moon landing. and they want to know, what was that like? If we're part of the human race, we're part of the race that went to the moon. We're part of the species that looked at the stars and wondered, what the heck are those things? Looking at the sky reminds you that there's more to the universe than what's for lunch. What's more, if you believe in a universe that God so loved that he sent his son, then not only are you going to want to study the universe because it's kind of cool, it's an act of worship. It's an act of getting closer to the Creator and getting closer to a universe, as St. Athanasius said 1,500 years ago, was cleansed and quickened by the Incarnation. Then, doing science is an act of worship.
So at the screen you see a quote from the head of this guy, Coselmondo, what I can't pronounce it. But as I said, I'm not promoting the Catholic Church. I'm not religious. But this is another way of seeing the science and the Bible. They don't claim that the Bible is a science book. But this is people that have studied both the Bible and science for a very long time. Fools like Flazoid. I don't believe in having any education in proper studying of the Bible, and I'm also very sure that he knows nothing about science. He have proven this time after time. So, I have to say it once more. Oh dear. So, is the Bible a science book? According to most Christians in this world, no, it's not. Flazoid and the rest of the fools using the Bible to try to prove their silly fantasies about the flat earth are a minority, and many or almost all Christians think they are wrong. So, that was all for this time. Hope you liked the video. I will be back soon. See you then. Bye.